Now to an I-Team exclusive. Local members of Black Lives Matter accused law enforcement officials in Rockland County of illegal surveillance, and now they're suing in federal court. This is the second lawsuit in a matter of months by an African-American group. Investigative reporter Sarah Wallace joins us now with this latest controversy. Sarah.
Well, and Natalie, this is the lawsuit that will be filed tomorrow by BLM members in Rockland County. It claims they were racially profiled and targeted for illegal surveillance by a secret law enforcement unit. Officials in Rockland vehemently deny it, saying their concern is public safety.
They say they are the faces of the Black Lives Matter movement in Rockland County. A counselor, a teacher, a professor, and a pastor.
Can you just run this up here?
All right, guys, here we go.
They came to our NBC studios to talk about their explosive federal lawsuit, which claims a misuse of power by law enforcement officials in Rockland.
Is it a violent group?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Not at all.
It never has been.
We're not a danger. We're trying to create a society that is more just.
But apparently a secret intelligence unit thought otherwise. The I-Team uncovered these highly controversial classified reports gathered by the Strategic Intelligence Unit, a joint venture of the Rockland County District Attorney's Office and the Clarkstown Police Department. They show in black and white that BLM was targeted as part of a violence reduction strategy, sandwiched right in between heroin initiative and terrorism.
To be listed as terrorists and drug runners, that's an indictment on what we stand for. They look at us and say they're dangerous.
Other categories included police riots and gangs.
Gangs, that's even worse. You're insulting us as a people.
In prior interviews, the Rockland County DA has repeatedly denied the SIU ever did anything illegal.
This unit does not engage in any type of surveillance. They're engaged in what we call passive surveillance or monitoring. Publicly available social media. Period. End of story.
He says the SIU's goal was to protect Black Lives Matter and another local black community group, We the People, whose members had their private information run through a law enforcement database.
They didn't go after We the People. They put a safety net around We the People to assure that there were no threats against the group. Their involvement with Black Lives Matter was not to surveil or in any manner Black Lives Matter, but to make sure there were no threats against them at the time.
If there was a threat against any of the members, you contact them, you bring them into the police department, make them aware of the threat. That's how you protect them. You don't protect someone by engaging in illegal surveillance.
The DA is emphatic. There was no illegal surveillance.
He's lying.
Last month, 14 members of We the People settled a federal lawsuit against Clarkstown for $300,000. Town officials acknowledging no wrongdoing or liability. It's not clear if any of these BLM members were run through any kind of system, but they say they know one thing about BLM rallies.
Happened right here in Rockland.
That they're over-policed.
When it's Black Lives Matter, they're just out there in huge numbers as if they anticipate something to go wrong.
And they say they worry BLM members in other towns and other states could be secretly targeted too.
Black folks are continuously being criminalized within the system, and we are not criminals.
Law enforcement, for the most part, looks at Black Lives Matter as an anti-police organization. And that's not what we are. We're having issues with policing in communities of color.
This is called profiling. Yeah. Police profiling. They are profiling us.
The attorney for Clarkstown says they can't comment until they get served with the legal papers. A spokesperson for the DA says there was an independent review which determined the SIU never engaged in any racial profiling or unlawful surveillance. Natalie, David.